Greetings, aloha, in Lakesh, and aloha. This video is partly in response to Matt, Quantum of Conscience. He's just featured a new video called People Know Nothing 3, back of the dollar bill. But as I was thinking about making this video, for some reason the film Terminator came back into my mind with the scene of the interrogation of Kyle Reese. And it occurred to me that it's that same allegorical story being shown. In that story, there is only one man that comes back. And he's called Kyle Reese, as I've said before. It's an anagram of like seer, because in that story he is from the future. So he is like a seer. Now in the interrogation, he says only living matter can come through. He says, I didn't build it. But he said, but there's some revealing lines in it. He says, it's just him and me. And it will not stop until Sarah is dead. It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. Well, what is it actually showing there? Kyle Reese, in that story, gives his life to protect the mother of the unborn son. Does this sound sort of to have familiar sort of scriptural ring about it, for example? Just a little thought that occurred to me, and of course that line, the future is not set, which I've mentioned before. This is all leading somewhere. I've said before, and I've suggested that this reality, for what it is a mirror. But it's as much as looking at the mirror as it is in the mirror. So what are we seeing on the back of the dollar bill? You'll notice you've got this separation here, this light. You'll notice this one singular eye. It's not at the top, but it is slightly lower. What I am suggesting, and you've also got in Roman numerals at the bottom 1776, so 1 and 6 is 7, 777. It's a variation on the 666, because what I feel this represents is the mind, the sixth chakra, the first eye, as I would call it, which most of you will know is the third eye, the one singular mind's eye. The rest of the chakras are down here. It is about mind over matter. Being in control, the conscious mind taking control of the body. In doing that, we create a new world order within ourselves and outside of ourselves from what we project out. It's very interesting what you've also got depicted here. You have, you could say, a level playing field. If you can stand in your own power, and you take the power and place it in the conscious mind, and you're not letting the unconscious and the system programming control how you operate, and you operate from a conscious mind, you are that new world order. It's also very interesting if we think about the references to Phoenicians and things. I mean, what is this great seal? I mean, this could represent the world around us, the external of us, and we are sealed in until we find this. It also says on this $1 bill, in God we trust, and it's speculated as to what God that is referring to. Well, Matt referenced it, and I happened to see a video with it on the other day, the painting in the Sistine Chapel with God reaching out the hand to man and not quite touching. And if you look, God is sitting in what is basically a pineal gland, because that is where God is. That is your own wonderful human imagination. What this is showing you is a mirror. It is telling you in a very reversed form. It's to do with the ascension, rising up that Christ consciousness until it gets to here, which will then open up to the 7th chakra, which is, remember, is outside the body, and you are the light. Your own internal sun you raise up to the conscious mind, and you project out from your first eye. You create the world around you. Now, it is also referred to about, it's often talked about the 1% of the 1%. Again, it's a mirror. When you consider what an atom is made up of, I got it wrong in a previous video. It's actually 99.9999%, which leaves 0.0001%. You see how this changes the perspective on looking at the same thing. As Matt quite correctly pointed out on a previous video, you can show the same information to different people and they will read things in different ways. So I'm going to say to you, take a long look in the mirror at what is being shown to you here. Why is it on money? Because if in God you trust is up here and it is within you, it's about control of your own greed. Because the more of these you are spending, your soul lard, your fat of your body, that you are exchanging for your energy. See, what is this showing you? What are you feeding to it? What is it feeding from you? These are the questions we should all ask ourselves when we look at these things. Don't always look at the fear side of things. Let's give you another one, another famous one. We'll just go back across to here. This one here, I think you'll all recognise this, and it's all straight away, oh, it's to do with, was it Yale or something, and George W. Bush, blah, blah, blah. Look at what is being shown to you here. 3 and 2 and 2 makes 7. There's your 7 chakras. That's your spiritual energy. It's control over the mind and the body where you've been crossed. To hide your spiritual energy, that is what is being shown to you. And then interestingly on this one it says Genesis 3:22, and the Lord God said, the man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. Well, hopefully you will know good and evil. That's your conscience. That's knowing whether you're doing something that is harming somebody else. That to me is what the knowledge of good and evil is, making sure that you choose the right path. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever. Well, again, that is almost referring back to that Sistine Chapel ceiling painting, the hand reaching out. So what we're actually being shown here, I mean, if you take away the 322, you've basically got the symbol of pirates. So this is piracy of your spiritual energy that is being shown to you. Things are shown in reverse. It's black and white, but it's the other way round. So I thought I'd put those little bits together because God is your own wonderful human imagination, as I've said before. And something else I would like to bring into this, going back to the atom, consider with the free will, there is more no thing than there is actual solid thing. How that changes what is reality and what is not reality. But consider with the free will, what if the choices you make in this lifetime not only affect the choice of what happens to you in a next incarnation, but just like this reality, you can consecutive life sentences. So what if you make a bad choice or a wrong choice in this reality that not only affects the next incarnation, but possibly the one after that, and maybe even the one after that? So far, and I'm talking from personal experience here, I cannot fault anything that Neville Goddard has given us in the lectures and his writings. And he talks of, we don't go through the trauma of childbirth. We are placed into bodies at about 20 years of age, I think he said. And you've got all the back memories, so you would know no difference. Now, I can't prove or disprove that. I can't categorically state whether that is true or not. But on the basis of what Neville Goddard has said in his lectures and in his books, I am in agreement with it. So I have absolutely no reason to doubt that to be true. And keep in mind that time is not linear. Your next incarnation may be dependent on the decisions you've made in this lifetime, and you may incarnate into a reality that doesn't follow on in this time scale. Imagine if you were in what we consider to be the Dark Ages. Imagine if you were a slave in Rome. That might be what is decided is the next lesson on your life journey that you have to experience. It is all the Creator playing every part. We just have to reach the point where we understand that we have to hand over the controls, which I think that again references back to Genesis 3:2:2. To reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever. But that is, in many ways, what we're doing. By stepping aside and leading an impersonal life, we're handing out the controls back over to the Creator to operate these avatars, these soul-carrying vessels. Because at the end of the day, they are soul carriers. They are carrying one spirit. It is the spirit of the All, the Creator, the Alpha and the Omega. So which video series do I put this little explanation in? I don't know about you, but I'm getting a bit sick of looking at that picture. Let's go back to the other one again. And let's just go on. There was something else Matt mentioned on here. Oh, I can't be bothered to find it, in all truth. Mention of the 13. Well, remember, you are not just your birth sign, you are all the zodiac signs, and all the zodiac signs make up you. That, again, is what the 13 is really referring to. All these things like the swastika, the sun wheel have been hijacked and perverted. That one is often quoted. But it is all the symbology that is shown in a mirror direction. I mean, a swastika, as was ticks, as was parasites, to me is what that is saying. And that's how they're telling you how they've behaved as parasites, this opposite perspective, this mirror that is trying ultimately to get you, to find this part within you and bring it up to where it should be. Remember that God fell into the dream, fell down into the solar plexus. The Father and the Son are one, and you are part of that one. You are a Trinity. Hence also you've got the 777 in the 1776 being shown there. All these things point back to the same thing. There is only one player in all of this. It is the grand architect. It is the creator of everything, but we are co-creators. That is our whole purpose of being here, to find that we are the I am. We are just personified aspects of that I am. So hopefully that gives you a different perspective on these things that are automatically looked at as being evil or as being something that is working against you. Well, does money work against you? Only if you allow it. If you allow that feeling of greed and that insatiable desire to amass more of this green paper, as it were, and it's at the expense of somebody else, you're not only out of control, you have no awareness of what it has done to those that are around you. And when you consider that we are all pushed out aspects of the one, you're really just hurting yourself. Now, would the Creator really want to be a self-harmer? Just a few things to think about there, and I hope it has cleared up a few of the fears and things. A lot of this is just seeing it from the other way round. Look at this wonderful opportunity you've been given. You may have loads of time in your hand now. Well, surely that is a golden opportunity to use that time wisely, spend your time wisely, and start doing the inner work on yourself. I mean, I've done it myself, and I'm still going through the process. There was a time when words like Jesus and prayer and Bible and such like would trigger me and pull up a negative feeling. I've now dealt with that. I have no problem with using any of those words, because a lot of it, those words are associated with something that through repetitive programming. Now I'm going to talk about that on the next video, which will be ANO, the Alpha and the Omega presentation 2. And we'll start moving towards some practical steps we can take with the mind and really start creating the reality that we want by remapping, rewiring, reminding ourselves, remembering ourselves. Think of it like a bomb. How good of an electrician are you? How can you sort out that wiring so you produce this within yourself? You find that Christ consciousness within yourself, because it is down here. Remember, you've got the king, the queens, and the king's chamber. I wonder if that is what this is supposed to represent in a form. That has only just occurred as I've been talking about this. The Queen's chamber, the King's chamber. How does that fit in to the human vessel? Because as far as I can see, this is what this is showing here. It's the ascension of the Christ consciousness within. So you're in conscious state, in a conscious state of mind. So you are master of your own servant, your own vessel. Ta-ta for now.